Hi, I'm Cassandra from Propercorn, the popcorn company. For as long as I can possibly remember, I've always wanted to start my own business. I think it was just a case of what rather than when. And about 5 years ago, felt there was an opportunity in the snack market to create something that didn't compromise between taste and health. Typically, you know, if you get that sort of 3 o'clock afternoon slump and the things that kind of leave you feeling satisfied also make you feel a bit guilty, and then the healthy stuff is quite sort of bland and not necessarily that fulfilling. So anyway, you know, I have always had sort of a fond memory of making popcorn from a child, and went home and spoke to my mum about the idea, and she reminded me that the last present that my dad bought me, he died when I was 16, was a popcorn machine. So I guess that was the extra bit of conviction that I needed to quit my job and give it a go. So once I had sort of decided, right, I want to start a popcorn business, I then had absolutely no idea what I was doing. The world of food manufacturing is quite dominated by sort of, you know, these big industrial estates all over the UK with kind of big burly men who initially didn't really want to take me seriously, so I was kind of going up and down the country meeting with manufacturers and got quite a few doors shut in my face. And I think probably understandably so. You know, young girl, no proven track record, for them to stop their production line for an unproven idea is a bit of a gamble. And I think that often that's the way that you need someone to kind of, I guess, take a punt, take a little bit of a leap of faith, and it's your job as the entrepreneur to convince them and come across credible. So eventually met someone who was willing to kind of give us a go, and we started off. This was right back when, you know, the popcorn market hadn't really taken off, and we started, you know, no one could season popcorn in the way that I wanted it to be seasoned at the time, and so we started off basically fashioning a cement mixer. I'd stand there with a handheld spray gun, misting on oil, pouring in seasoning, and, you know, it was a very kind of crude operation. And, you know, fast forward to kind of 3.5 years later, we've got 10 lines going now, producing best part of 3 million packs a month, selling 3 million packs a month. So yeah, I think getting the production side set up was a big challenge. Also, just, you know, there is amazing support out there. So I enrolled with the East London Small Business Centre and did a 2-week course just to learn the kind of rudimentary nuts and bolts of cash flow and VAT and just things that I just didn't really have, I wasn't that well versed in. I think, you know, I'd spent a good couple of years, you know, trying to get things off the ground, and what I thought I could achieve in a short period of time just inevitably took so much longer. And I think part of the obstacle was obviously funding. So I moved back home, you know, really lucky that I was able to move back home, and was doing sort of odd jobs, you know, saving up a bit of cash, and managed to save up about 10k, which I used to put in place the kind of foundations of the business. So be it the, you know, registering the IP and the trademark, getting the initial designs done, and then got to a point where I wanted to feel accountable to someone and be able to, you know, I found it quite lonely doing it on my own. And a very good friend of mine, Ryan, had always expressed a real keen interest in the idea, and was working on his own businesses at the time. And we very informally came together just to sort of, you know, see how the relationship would work, and it was brilliant from the word go, and we launched the business together 3.5 years ago. you know, it's inevitable that you're going to have to make sacrifices. They don't feel like huge sacrifices to me, because ultimately I'm following what I love and what I care about. You know, right at the beginning, having to sort of move back home and, you know, working in a pub evenings and weekends, and you know, doing sort of odd jobs that weren't particularly fulfilling in order to, you know, save some money was hard. But I was motivated by, you know, where I was trying to get to, and you know, on a day-to-day level, nothing feels like a sacrifice, because I feel so fortunate and lucky to, you know, see my idea get to where it is to today, and I feel really excited by that.